I'm Velez-Mitchell coming to you live from Los Angeles. Whitney Houston's deadly secrets. What do we know tonight about the days, hours, and minutes leading up to the superstar's death? Were drugs or alcohol involved? Tonight, we're going to talk to people who saw her shortly before she died, and we're going to show you the last known video of Whitney Houston next. To Jawn Murray, entertainment journalist and pop culture expert. Jawn, we've all been struggling, and I'm a recovering alcoholic with 16, hopefully by April, 17 years of sobriety, with how to cover this. We don't want to gloss over it because I think that does a disservice, given that, for example, America is in the middle of a prescription drug overdose epidemic. It's happening all over the country. Prescription drugs are killing more people than illegal drugs at this point. But we also don't want to be disrespectful, and we certainly don't want to jump to conclusions. We do not know her cause of death until the tox reports come back. But these reports that she was drinking champagne 2 nights before, that we saw it on camera, her acting bizarrely, interrupting an interview, leaving a party, disheveled. How do you draw the line? How do we, as a culture, look at this respectfully?
Well, Jane, one of the things I've been saying is that I think the record companies have to start being more accountable. You know, with our prize athletes, if you can't pass a drug and alcohol test in the NBA and the NFL and the baseball leagues, you don't play. You're suspended. Even professional wrestling, which is scripted athletics, if you can't pass the wellness test, you can't perform. We've got to do this for artists. I was once in Toronto, Canada at a music festival and famously went on the radio and pleaded for promoters to stop booking the group Casey and JoJo because they were falling out drunk at the show. It ended up on YouTube. One of them busted their heads, and the show went on, Jane. Nobody cared. You know, other groups were more concerned than the promoters, their handlers. We have to stop enabling these artists to be able to go forward and perform and to move on in these unhealthy states.
Well, I would say Exhibit A was, and no offense to anybody, keeping the party going. At the very same hotel where Whitney Houston's body is on the 4th floor, she has not been removed from the hotel. Her daughter, Bobby, Christina, is hysterical there and later has to be hospitalized twice. And yet the party goes on, thrown by her mentor, Clive Davis. There is the one and only Whitney Houston, and we have tragically lost her, and we're trying to figure out why and what we can learn from it. How many more stars are we going to lose before people wake up? We don't have a Whitney Houston's cause of death yet, but we've been learning that she was drinking a couple of days before, even though she is was in recovery, had gone into rehab less than a year ago. And take a look at all the celebrity deaths that have been linked to prescription drugs. Prescription drugs were found in Whitney Houston's room. Michael Jackson, Heath Ledger, Anna Nicole Smith, the list goes on and on. TMZ reporting some of the prescriptions in Whitney's hotel room were filled at the infamous, well, at the Mickey Fine Pharmacy, let me just say it that way, in Beverly Hills. CNN hasn't confirmed that, but I know this from covering the Michael Jackson case. The Mickey Fine drugstore sold countless prescriptions to Michael Jackson. At one time, Michael Jackson owed the Mickey Fine Pharmacy about $100,000 in prescriptions. Jawn Murray, entertainment journalist, pop culture expert. I mean, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. If it turns out that the toxicology reports come back and determine that Whitney Houston was, in fact, on a bunch of drugs that have absolutely no medical necessity or were overtaken or overprescribed, is this time for a national wake-up call, given that more people are ODing from legal prescription drugs than they are illegal drugs?
Jane, we're already past the time for a national wake-up call. And really quickly, I want to clear up 2 misreports of things that people have said today. Whitney Houston did not have slits on her wrist in that club. The blood that you saw on her leg, apparently she hit her leg on her way out of the club because it was a crowded venue. The reason she looked disheveled was for no other reason that she had been there for 3 hours and partying with her other music friends. Everybody said she looked beautiful and elegant before she got there. And lastly, the Bobby Brown thing. Whitney Houston had a
Well, wait. Let me jump in. I got to jump in, Jawn. Okay, this is where the problem occurs, because people said she was happy and joyous at the party, but she was drinking champagne at the party. Now, I'm not saying this to point the finger. I'm a recovering alcoholic. God forbid I was ever seen out and about drinking alcohol. I want everybody to call the top interventionists in the country and put me on lockdown. I don't care whether I was having 1 glass of champagne. For me, it's deadly. For anybody who's an addict, it's potentially deadly. Proceed.
I definitely understand the severity in that, Jane. I'm not denying that part of it. The other thing I just want to say really quickly is that Whitney Houston did have a history of drug abuse before her marriage to Bobby Brown. So when people say that he led her down that road and she took drugs to stay with him, she had a problem before they got together. When they sang the song, "We Have Something in Common," they were telling us the truth.